Okay, I'll talk about this in just a minute. But, see this shirt? The color, it's all frayed. I've had this shirt for many years. It was bought at a local thrift store of the USA on Little Creek Road in Norfolk, Virginia. Now, at this particular thrift store, this shirt back then was something like 49 cents. Somebody owned it. They no longer wanted it. They donated it to the thrift store, and I bought it many years ago. I like it. It fit me perfectly. And now it's all frayed in the collar, but I still wear it. If I had not mentioned the fact that it was frayed in the collar, you would not have noticed it, would you? And that, by the way, is my point. We tend to notice things that are not important. Now, at this particular thrift store, if you have an electric car or a plug-in hybrid, you're more than welcome to use the facilities free. Now, the owner does not care at all what color hair you have, the color of your eyes, the color of your skin, what brand of electric car you drive. He offers free electricity. Now, the individual is the one who's going to add the so-called strings, the issues that are attached. The owner does not. It is free. Now, I'll get to this right here. You're a person of color, you're a black person, yet you never ever bring up black issues. Fair enough. Well, I believe that it is one of those issues that is really not that important. And I will explain to you what I'm talking about. The African American who lives in Vermont does not have the same experience that the African American who lives, say, Louisiana, Georgia, Mississippi, in Idaho, or Ohio. My point is this. The African American who lives wherever you are would probably have different experiences than an African American elsewhere. Now, the one thing, the skin color thing, is something that the other person will put the emphasis on. I don't go around every day saying, oh my God, I am a black person. As a matter of fact, the only time I think about it is when you tell me that I am. Now, that does not mean that I am insensitive to inequities. But my point is to just go around calling everyone of color a black person really deprive them of their heritage, their culture, their ethnicity. Yes, an Egyptian or a person from Sudan is a black person. But their experiences are not the same as, say, one from Kenya, Nigeria, or South Africa. Do you get what I'm getting at? I think because when you lump people together as saying, oh, it's a black person, therefore it's a black experience, it loses its meaning. And the more you cling to the idea of a black experience, the more you deprive the individual the respect and dignity that they are worth. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Here in the United States of America, racism is a fact. It's systemic. It is a part of the culture. But here's what's happening. Because people have identified themselves as the black person, they all have a very parochial view of everything. Okay? Okay, they say it's the black experience. What does that mean? It's like saying, you know, if you get a ticket, for example, you say, oh, wow, I got a ticket because of the white experience. Or if you're treated in a very nasty or rude way in the grocery store, you say, oh, I'm treated that way because of a white experience. See what I'm getting at? The point is, the observer is the one who issues the behavior based upon their attitudes, their ethics, their morality. They are simply reflecting what they believe to be correct and bouncing it on you. Anyway, now my point is this. The more we think in terms of the black experience, the more we're being manipulated and we're being used and we don't even know it. You go to a church and it's the black church because it's a black culture and because it's the black experience. Unscrupulous politicians will then use this attitude to manipulate the crowd. All this politician has to say is, look what I'm going to do for you. And the minister will then try his best to convince his audience that that politician is the one they should vote for based upon that politician's attitude, or rather use of the minister. In other words, the politician will use the minister so that the minister will manipulate the audience to vote for that politician. It happens every day. Now, you cannot tell somebody from Kenya, for example, that his experience is the same as someone from Nigeria. It's not. However, the observer will believe, because they both share a certain color skin, that they're the same. They're not. Do you believe that someone from Norway has the same experience as someone, say, from Italy? I don't think so. Anyway, I know this is controversial, and I know I'm going to get a lot of mail on this, but what I'd like people to do is to consider this. How you are being observed is really the prerogative of the observer. Okay? If that observer considers all blondes to be stupid, that has nothing to do with someone who is blonde. It has to do with their observation. False observation. If the observer considers that all blue-eyed people are white, then that has to do with the observer's point of view, not the person who has blue eyes. As a matter of fact, they don't even think about it most of the time. So this is what I'm trying to say. Just because you look at me and say, oh, that's a black person. As a matter of fact, a lot of people will not watch this video because they see a black face. And their attitude is, a black person cannot tell me anything. So they never watch. See, that's the prerogative of you, the observer. It has nothing to do with me. All I'm trying to say is this. Stop allowing yourself, if you're a person of my color, stop allowing yourself to be used, to be manipulated, because somebody shows you false sympathy or false observation based upon your skin color. You could be used. Perhaps you're being manipulated because of your emphasis on this, and you don't even know it. Don't you know that all of us have our own attitude and our own behavior? I don't vote political parties, but I am a liberal person, meaning that I put people ahead of money. But, I'm not going to vote for a party because it's a Republican or a Democrat. And traditionally, a black person should vote Democratic. That's where we get the old, So, maybe I didn't make my point very clear, but what I'm trying to say is stop being judgmental based on the color of skin.